Anyways, all right. Sorry, you guys. So yeah, this lady called me a bitch, and like it came from a place of meaning. It came from a place of like it came from a place that my mother really wanted to call me that, and that was the perfect time. Like it's like she just really wanted to call me a bitch. Now I was just like, Mom, oh my God, like really? Then she took it to the point where she basically cussed out my boyfriend. And told him that he's never to come back while she's there or while she's not there. Fine, whatever. So again, you know, I was embarrassed. Very, very embarrassed. You know, I felt really degraded in that moment. I've never ever been called a bitch by anyone. Like, no one's ever called me a bitch. Not even to my face. Like, nobody has ever called me a bitch. And that shit took me back. Like, it threw me against the wall. It threw me down a rabbit hole. I was trying to climb out the jump. Like, I've never been called a bitch, ever. But by my mother? Girl. So, to backtrack on this story, earlier the same day, the same night that she called me a bitch, me and my mother had gotten into it over my daughter's instrument. The people lied to me at the instrument place, and they told me a certain time frame that the instrument would be ready, when in fact, that was a lie. It was not the time frame. And so my mother was like, well, what are you going to do? Like, the instrument hasn't been tuned in 20 years and blah, blah, blah. And oh my God. And I'm just like, Ma, you know, calm down. I'm going to take care of it. And she's like, you know, you just, and like, you know, just, she's such a narcissist. And it's like, you know, she tries to control and manipulate me in these certain ways. And now that she's seen, like, with me being more spiritual now, and me being able to stand in my truth, me being able to use my throat chakra effectively, and, you know, tell her, you know, I'm not fucking with your shit. Like, I'm not dealing with your shit. It's starting to weaken her. And so, you know, at this point, like, I've dealt with this shit for forever, and I'm sure a lot of you guys can relate to a narcissistic black mother, especially a black mother who, you know, has been through years and years of abuse, neglect. Not saying this is what my mother went through, but, you know, my mother grew up in a family of seven brothers and sisters. She is the second to youngest, so that has a lot to say about it as well. My mother grew up with two parents in the house, but, you know, she was one of seven. Again, you know, second to youngest. She is now the youngest because her brother, who was the youngest, he passed away years ago, back when I was in high school. But, like, my mother, you know, she's the type of person where on the outside looking in, everything is all good. She'll laugh, hee hee, ha ha, ha ha with you. You know, she'll treat me a certain way in front of people, even our family. You know, she treats my cousin, who's like my brother, completely different than how she treats me. She treats him like a son. She'll bend over backwards for this nigga. You know what I'm saying? And, you know, he done did some fucked up shit too in his life. But, you know, it's like she treats me differently, and I'm her own motherfucking daughter. Like, she won't even invest in my business. You know, she won't even be like a partner, like help me financially. My mother's like this math whiz, and she's really good at like, you know, finances and things like that. But she doesn't even want to help me. She's like, I would never invest in your business. Like, that's what she told me. So I'm like, man, fuck you too. You know what I'm saying? Like, and that's just real. So this is all like coming to a head. So anyways, you guys know I've been seeing 555 a lot. 5555 a lot. I've been seeing just so many numbers about transformation. I've been seeing 666 everywhere. And literally, as I was leaving the house, about to go get Kennedy, after having that argument, I was sitting here driving, and I'm just like, you know, Spirit, oh my God, like, get me out of this situation. Like, I don't want to be in my mom's house anymore. I'm so over this shit. Like, I'm so tired of it. I just need a way out. I just need a way out. I need a way out. I need a way out. And not even 12 fucking hours later, This shit happens with my mother. And the crazy thing about it, y'all, is that I went to go use the bathroom. When me and my boyfriend came upstairs, I went to go use the bathroom. And, like, something in my head said, I heard a voice that said, your mother is about to catch you. Your mother is going to catch you. Like, that's what the voice said. I swear to God. The voice was like, your mother's about to catch you. But, you know, I was moving so fast that I didn't even I didn't even process the shit. So I just, you know, kept it moving about my day. Yeah. Not even 15 minutes later, my mom come busting up in my room, you know, cussing me out, all of this stuff. I'm just looking at her like, really? Then she goes downstairs and she meets me and him downstairs, and she's like, you know, telling him, you know, like, don't you ever come back here if I'm here and not here, like, you know. And I'm trying to tell him, like, we wasn't even doing that, we was just sitting there talking. But, you know, I guess it was just the fact that I had him in the house and in my room. He was, you know, basically, whatever. Like, I understand where she's coming from. I get it. Trust me, I get it. You know, but at the same time, like, I'm just like, it's time for me to fucking go. It's time for me to go. And the thing about it is that, you know, my cousin, you know, he begged me to stay. He's like, you know, no, you got to stay with mommy at least 4 years, 3 or 4 years, so that she'll be okay. And I'm like, you know, man, fuck that shit, man. Fuck that shit. Do you know how many people go through deaths of their husbands and do it by themselves? Like, she'll be all right. Like, that's just how I felt about it. I'm like, she'll be all right. But, you know, I stayed for that reason. And subsequently I got fired from my job, so I really had to stay. But at this point, y'all, it's time for me to fucking move. It's time for me to go. So I've decided permanently that next summer I will be moving back to Charlotte officially. Charlotte, North Carolina will be my permanent home. I have done a binding spell to bind myself to Charlotte. I have done a binding spell to bind myself to success and money and good opportunities, great business acumen. Like, I have binded myself to success. I binded myself to succeeding through this ordeal. I have also released myself from my mother and her bullshit. I have done spells and I left a few days in between because I knew I was like emotional, but like, honestly, the situation has now just hit me out of nowhere like a ton of bricks. That's why I was so emotional at first on this video, because I'm just like, oh my God, like, you know. But I just really feel compelled to speak in my truth about this. And I know that there are some people right now that are listening to this video that have probably gone through the same thing that I've gone through, or that have, you know, dealt with it. And I'm just here to let you guys know that, you know, you have the power to create your own, you have the power to create your own destiny. You have the power to create your own reality. You have to be able to manifest whatever it is that you desire with confidence, and be able to speak it into truth, into matter. And the one thing I had to release was my fear because the one thing that narcissistic mothers do is that they almost like manipulate you into making you like their puppy. You know what I'm saying? And the one thing that I always said about my daughter is that I would never manipulate her or make her feel like, you know, I am trying to put a chokehold on her. I always want my child to express herself. I always want my child to, you know, to love me unconditionally, no matter what. And I have also binded my daughter to me as well. So if you guys want to see binding spells, then let me know. I have also binded Kennedy to me as well. And that's just for her safety. But at the end of the day, because this world is crazy, but at the end of the day, you know, I have learned that, you know, my mother has a lot of things that she needs to deal with, and she's not going to be able to deal with on her own. She probably will go to her grave with this shit, with these burdens. And that's okay. Like, that has nothing to do with me, to be quite honest with you guys. Like, you know, I know that there's not a blood connection between her You know, me and my family, we were never really close anyway. Like, I felt like I was always around my family because of my mother, because, you know, for GP, for by Trump, by default. You know, and being an adoptive child, like, I never had any issues, but I always realized that, you know, the blood connection, once I had Kennedy, I realized that the blood connection and the water connection are two different things. And I know sometimes water can be stronger ties than blood, but in this case, blood is thicker than water. And with me and Kennedy, our relationship is completely different than how it was with me and my mother. And I know that my mother sees that, and I know that she's probably jealous to a certain extent. I know at one point she told me, she's like, you walk around here like you the queen and put your heels on and your makeup. And I'm like, oh, you mad because I'm cute? You mad because I look better? Are you mad because I'm the shits? Like, you know, don't be mad. Like, you know you raised a beautiful daughter. Like, don't be fucking mad at me because I look a certain type of way. Like, I mean, there's just so many encounters that I could tell you guys about. We would be on this video forever, and I would be talking to you guys about so many things that my mother has did and said to me. You guys would just be like, really? But she's a narcissist. She's a narcissist. And she has her own emotional problems that she needs to deal with. She has her own emotional problems that she doesn't want to deal with. And that's okay. That's okay. At the end of the day, that's okay. And, you know, she's going to do what she wants to do. She's, you know, stuck in her ways. She's never going to change. And that's okay. But it's going to be, she about to hit that car. It's going to be up to me to be the person that walks away and says, you know what, enough is enough. I'm no longer going to take your abuse, your emotional abuse. I am no longer going to accept, you know, your manipulation. I'm no longer going to allow you to use your narcissistic ways on me. So I'm just going to walk away from the situation. You know, like, at the end of the day, again, you know, I apologize to you, Mom, for having a man in your house, unbeknownst to you. I do apologize for that, but I wasn't doing any harm to anyone. But at the end of the day, like, it is your home, it is your house, and, you know, it's your rules. But also, to take it further, you didn't have to call me a bitch. You did not have to call me a bitch. Since I'm, you know, she's always like, I'm your mother and you gotta respect me and blah, blah, blah. Oh, okay. And I'm your daughter and you need to fucking respect me too. You know what I'm saying? And you called me a bitch. You called me a bitch. Like, if anyone in my channel, I have what? Damn near 2,000 people. If any of y'all have been called a bitch by your mother, please let me know. I want to know in the comments down below how many people have been called a bitch by their mother. I really, really need to know. Okay? I need to know. But anyways, I need to go, you guys. I need to go up in this gym. There's like 1,000 people that have walked in here, and I need to go. So yeah, you guys, I love you so much. Thanks for watching. Thanks for listening. I feel a lot better. I got some things off my chest. You know, I'm just working on my healing. I'm working on my throat chakra. I am working on my heart chakra. I am working on my root chakra. I'm just really like working on grounding myself in love, in unconditional love, and speaking in my truth with love and light. But let me tell you right now, the witch is coming out of me and the dark side is coming out of me, and everything was developed and manifested in the dark. And I'm going to tell y'all this now, like, the glow up for 2019 is about to be so motherfucking real. And just know that I'm just so over, like, being under the spell of my evil mother, the evil witch, the evil queen. I'm so, like, the spell has been broken. I'm no longer being manipulated by her. You know, I'm no longer allowing her to control my life. And this is something that a lot of Black women don't talk about, but, like, you know, the control issues that our mothers have. It's narcissistic. They're a narcissist. There's a lot of different categories under narcissist, and if you feel like me, you most likely have a narcissistic mother, and it's time for you to get away from her. It's time for you to get away from her. It's time for me to respread my wings and get back out on my own. It's been 7 years, way too long. And it's time for me to go. It's time for me to fucking go. And I know that my mother's going to try to manipulate me and try to get me to stay, but I'm leaving. I'm sorry. I love you, you know, but we are better apart than we are together. And it's just, it is what it is. So, you know what I'm saying? At the end of the day, you know, I got to do what I got to do for me. So I have to choose me now. I can no longer choose my mother. I have to choose me. All right, you guys. So I hope that you all learned something from this video. I love you guys so much. Again, I know I tried to end the video before, but I had something else to say. Thanks for watching. And don't forget, you guys, I have my tarot class, which is still, you know, on for being booked. So, yeah. Make sure you go and you book a spot for the class. It's going to be on Zoom. I am sending out the confirmation numbers for the code to get in the class this week. I want to say I maybe have, I don't know, I got a good handful of people in there. So, you know, this is my first class, so I'm not really expecting too much. But yeah, the class is only $10. So if you're looking to sign up, make sure you check the description box below for all the information. I love you guys so much. Thanks for watching, and I'll catch you guys in the next video. Peace.